Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm basically gonna be coming out here and we're gonna try to get this thing inside. We've been having some pretty good storms here recently, and I really don't want to take a chance of getting that back glass knocked out of this car, or well, for any fact, getting any of these windows knocked out. Because yeah, I was lucky to get a new windshield for it at one time, but trying to find glass for these old Saabs, uh, it's probably not easy. So yeah, we're gonna get the old diesel Mercedes there, get a chain hooked up to it, and yeah, we're gonna put it inside the shop today. All right, first things first, we'll get that cardboard taken off the back of it and get the chain hooked up to it, and yeah, start getting it pulled out of here. All right, well, that was starting to get a little close there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start cranking those wheels around to yeah, start getting that back a little bit more from that shed right there. All right. So now that I've got the car inside, I'll give you just a little walk around of it and tell you a little bit more about it. The front of the car is sitting up, pretty high, and the reason for that is I've got the engine and transmission out of it, but overall, the outside of the car is pretty nice. I mean, it's got a little damage right there, that up there, but for the most part, the car is in actually, decent condition. I'm not, this back bumper here, it's been that way ever since I got the car. Not really sure what happened there, but kind of coming around. It's a two-door hatch, 900 turbo, and some people, I understand, they call this car rose quartz, just because of the paint color on it and the color of the interior. But as you can see here, everything's in pretty good shape. I pulled these panels here off of the door, because the fabric, which I can show you here on the other side, basically started doing that. And I'm going to get in here and pull them panels off and see if I can't get them recovered. But yeah, it's maybe I should turn on my flash. There we go. But you know, the console's in, you know, pretty good shape, and it is a 5-speed car. And yeah, 97,000 original miles. Um, you know, the odometer does work in this car. You know, whenever I first got it, it quit working after a little bit, but I got in and, you know, got the replacement gear for the odometer and replaced it, you know, just so that, you know, I, you know, knew exactly how many miles I had. But, um, but yeah, uh, you know, the interior is actually in, you know, pretty good shape. You know, it's a little faded, but, you know, and it, you know, it could use a good, you know, a good cleaning. Um, but, you know, overall, you know, not too bad. But yeah, I'll show you, you know, kind of around the engine compartment. If I get the hood to pop. And the doors, you know, shut so good on this car. Um, you know, but I did, gosh, I can't remember how long ago now, I got this grill, and, you know, it was starting to have, you know, a few little issues like that right there. The chrome was starting to come up on it. So I did come in here and I plasti dipped it, which, you know, kind of, you know, they say that this plasti dip will come off, but, you know, I'm not so much worried about it. Uh, you know, I can probably find another grill, but, you know, right here, you know, the front emblem, you know, it's, you know, pretty well lost, you know, all of its paint. And, you know, the hood, you know, itself, you know, it's, you know, it's got a little, you know, it's not perfect, but yeah, coming around the side here, you know, it's got, you know, the engine, or lack thereof, uh, you know, did have a little bit of, you know, a couple of oil leaks, you know, that have been leaking for, well, evidently quite a while. And, you know, it's not too bad though. You know, like I say, I've got the engine out of it, because the 5-speed transmission, you know, it had some issues, and I'll kind of show you around that. But yeah, you know, basically, you know, the old car, you know, just needs a, you know, a decent clean. But, you know, the dashboard, you know, it's got cracks in it, you know, because it's been sitting outside. Um, you know, kind of par for the course for a, you know, 30, you know, some odd year old vehicle. But yeah, um, you know, it's got, you know, fairly decent tires on it. I don't know if I'd run them or not. But but yeah, I'll take you around there and you know, show you the motor. All right, this right here, this is your Saab B202 engine. What this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder that has dual overhead cams, you know, 16 valve, you know, turbo basically. But, you know, over here is, you know, basically your exhaust manifold. You know, right there is where your turbo mounts up, and it does have some oil leaks, uh, you know all that, but all in all, these are, well, I've never really had any issue with this engine. Other than, basically, minor, oil leaks, which, on an engine of this age, it's going to leak a little oil. But yeah, one thing you might be wondering, is, where's the oil pan at? Well, these 900 turbos, the oil pan was actually part of the transmission. The transmission basically, just bolts up, in, those, bolt holes right there. And yeah, your oil pan was part of the transmission. So, kind of a different setup, all of that. But, what's really strange about these 900 turbos is how this engine actually set in the car. It did not sit, straight up and down like this. The engine, if you look at it this way, the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold just, don't look right. Well, you really, have to tip, the engine to, kind of get them to look right. And that right there is how, the engine sits in the car, is off to an angle. And, basically, you can see, your throttle right here. This is going to the front of the car. So that puts, all your, belts and pulleys and everything else on the back side of the engine compartment. And, I can show you that right here. If you look right there, that's the power steering pump. And it sits, all the way back up, against the firewall. But yeah, I'll take you around here and, show you the transmission. This is the reason why, I pulled, that motor out. Basically, if you can look inside of there, right there, you can see one of those teeth on that gear is pretty messed up. But, there are other gears in there that are, just hammered. But yeah, and like I was saying, here's the oil pan, still with oil in it because I thought I'd drained it and I evidently didn't. But another strange thing, this is how, the transmission sits in the car, is front to back, with the motor, sitting right up on top of it. And now all of this, these primary gears and chain, this sits at the front of the motor, close up to the radiator. And now your clutch, sits right in here in this area. So the clutch on these, if you've got a properly operating, slave cylinder and master cylinder, the clutch on these is a breeze to install. But, if your slave cylinder down here is not working, it's not that fun. But yeah, that's pretty much, the reason why, I decided to pull, you know, this motor and transmission out of the car. But yeah, there you have it. You know, just basically kind of a little bit of a rundown on my old Saab here. You know, I've actually owned this car now for, gosh, I can't even remember how long. I think I've owned it now for 15 years, something like that. And I bought this car for, gosh, I think I gave $3 grand for it way back then. And you know, then I eventually, you know, messed up the transmission just because, you know, I evidently thought that those gearboxes were, you know, stronger than what they were, and yeah, I ended up damaging it. So, pretty much, you know, I've located, you know, a couple of different gearboxes for it, and I plan on buying one of them here at some point, and yeah, basically starting to get back to work on this thing and getting it put back together. But yeah, you know, if you you know, like videos like this, and you know, you want to see more of, you know, what I'm going to be doing to this old Saab, you know, consider subscribing to my channel, and you know, give my video a like if you liked it. But yeah, until then, you know, I'll see you in the you know, the next video. Thanks for watching.
Weather outlook scale up here north of
Yeah,
I-70,
you might be wondering
Nebraska.
why I decided to get the Saab in here. Yeah, basically because of that right there. And yeah, it's gonna be a little cramped.
And again Thursday night, we need to keep flooding front and center.